Hi guys, welcome to another short video of our Marine Technical Training Academy. Today we are going to learn the difference between the wet clutch and the dry clutch. The difference between the mechanical clutch and the torque converter for automatic transmissions. In order to understand easily the hydraulic clutch, we need to finish with the mechanical clutch. When the thrust bearing, this is an axial bearing, this is a bearing, axial bearing, and this bearing is moved by the fork and the fork with your pedal.
Your pedal.
The pedal.
So when you
press,
it releases.
No, when you press, this metal goes here, and the friction is free.
Free. Okay.
All right. When you release the pressure, this metal goes forward and compress the friction discs, and the transmission and the engines are engaged.
Cool.
Okay. That depend of the thrust bearing.
So what's the most common problems with an automatic? With a manual transmission? Is it mainly because the clutch gets burnt out because the people don't know how to drive it?
This is the most.
That's the most common.
Yeah, the most common. There are other problems, but this is the most common. It's on the clutch, not on the transmission, because those transmissions are for 100 years.
Yeah, they're pretty heavy duty.
Heavy duty. But the problem is on the clutch. But replace the clutch is not complicated. We are going to refresh for our students. The element that is bolted permanent on the flywheel is bolted permanent is the pressure plate. The friction plate is free.
Always free.
Always free. The friction plate receives the shaft, the input shaft of the transmission.
Okay.
Of course, when the engine is isolated from the transmission because you apply pressure on the thrust bearing, this element is free. Yeah?
Yeah.
Correct. When you release the clutch pedal, this element is compressed over there and the transmission is connected with the engine.
Yeah,
Simple.
so basically, this is what transfers the power from
Correct.
to the engine.
For that reason, in a mechanical clutch, the most critical part is the friction material.
Yeah.
The friction material in both sides and the spring. This is exactly like the flex
the
plate
flex plate.
in our marine
Looks
transmission.
very similar, absolutely.
And absorb is like a damper, no?
Yep.
Alright, it's flex plate. It's a flex plate with friction contact. Right. Yeah. The life of this clutch depends of the condition of the friction material. This is considered a dry clutch. Dry clutch because you don't have oil.
Right. No.
The enemy of this dry clutch is the oil.
I was going to ask you that because I was curious if I see this is pretty dry.
It's dry.
It has to stay dry.
Correct. When the seal of the crankshaft, the back seal of the crankshaft of the engine is leaking, the clutch is spinning and
it won't go in the gear.
Yeah, never.
Okay.
It's because you have a leak on that seal.
Absolutely makes sense.
Or in the front seal of the transmission. You remember?
Yeah.
Both seals.
Both seals.
If
right.
one seal is leaking, the clutch is affected.
Right.
That's the enemy. But the mechanical clutch is considered, quiz question, dry clutch.
Dry clutch.
Dry clutch. And this one, look, this one is considered
wet
because it's full of oil internally. It's solid.
It looks like it holds a lot of oil.
3/4, 4/4, depending of the torque converter. Wow. For that reason, when the people flush the oil in an automatic transmission, the $1 million question is, you flush the oil of the converter? No, because it's difficult. Yeah, I know, but you have 4/4.
So how would you change?
The process is flush the oil 2-3 times.
Oh wow!
Because you don't have drain on the converter.
That's what I was looking for. I didn't see a drain in there.
No. And the torque converter is hollow. The shaft, the input shaft, exactly like this. The input shaft that enter here is hollow.
Hollow. Okay. And that's how the oil transfers from one side to the other.
It's hollow, Danny, because you remember the planetary gears, the sun, the planets, and the ring.
Right.
Those three shafts are one inside of the other one, like a telescopic.
Right.
They are hollows, and the oil enter over there and return from the side of those shafts.
Cool.
For that reason, the hydraulic transmissions are very narrow, like a funnel.
Right.
And the manual transmissions are big because the gears are separated.
Right.
All right. This is the hydraulic clutch, and the mechanism internally is similar to this one. We have one element free, like the friction disc.
we have another element bolted with the flywheel, the pressure plate. And right now we are going to move it, disassemble this one. We are going to verify what is the element that is fixed with the housing and what is the element that is free. And that's it.
That's it. Wow.
And for hydraulic pressure, this element goes forward or back, and the transmission engage or not. It's basically for pressure on the oil. But let me rephrase something. Suppose, Danny, that you have two fans equals, one in front of the other one. One fan is disconnected from the power, and the other one is connected to the power, and I start the fan right now, and the fan start to move. What happens if I put this fan in the maximum speed? What happened with the second fan?
It'll start moving.
The second fan start to move. What happens if I increase more and more and more the speed of this? What happened with the second one?
It'll start moving faster.
Faster, and try to move it. Try to move it because it's too much pressure on the air coming from this fan.
Right.
Once again, I have one fan here in front of this, and only this one is powered. The other one is free.
So that one's the only one that moves all the time.
Correct, this one.
Okay.
And in this one, I can increase or decrease the RPMs.
Right.
With my gas pedal.
With your gas pedal.
Okay, I increase or decrease the speed on this. And what happened with the second one? At the beginning, it start to spin.
Right.
And fast. If I increase the speed too much here, the second one move forward.
It's moving forward.
Because it's too much pressure. That's the situation.
So that's what you're just converting that torque. Now that's why they saw a torque
converter.
Right.
You enjoy this material? This material is useful for you, for your company? Please, I want to continue creating more products, more books, more videos, more video conference, but I need your support. Make a click if you agree with the content of this channel. Make a click. Subscribe in my channel. Make a click on the bell to get notifications. Only with your support is possible continue with this project. Thank you.